when I was a kid, my step-grandparents lived in this little town up in the Oregon mountains. Their house was at the end of a dead-end street. There was, like, a wooden guardrail at the end of it, painted white with orange stripes. Maybe 5 houses total on the whole street. But there was this one house, directly across the street from my grandparents. And it was, like, noticeably older than the rest. And I mean, everyone got that weird feeling from it. You know that feeling, that, I don't know, heebie-jeebie thing you can't really put into words. It just felt off. Every time you looked at it, just off. My mom and stepdad would drop me, my sister, and my stepbrother off there from time to time to hang out with our grandparents. I was about 5 years younger than both of them, and like, we loved it there. We really did. Our grandparents were great. Always doing stuff, hiking, picking berries to make pies, barbecues. It was, you know, always smiles, always fun. That was the vibe. Anyways, one day, me, my sister, and my stepbrother are outside playing. It's getting close to dark, probably around dusk, and we hear the gate of the yard close. This was a, like, metal chain link gate that went around the whole house. And there's this girl standing there. She was about our age, normal looking, glasses, kinda more on the tomboy side. Actually, she was probably a little older than us, and she just, like, says hi and tells us her name is Raquel. Asks if she can play basketball with us. Now, we had no idea anyone even lived in the house across the street. Like, none. We'd never seen a single person go in or come out. And this was, like, probably our 4th time visiting our grandparents. But, I mean, we were kids, you know? We probably just didn't notice, right? So we just said, yeah, sure, come on. And started playing. Just kids being kids. Nothing weird about it. And for about a year, nothing was weird about her. She was just Raquel, the girl from across the street who came over to play. That was it. But then, how do I put this? One day, things just, like, changed in her. And I remember the first time we noticed. I remember it really clearly. We were up pretty late playing video games. Nintendo 64. Our grandparents had, like, splurged on us. Bought a ton of candy, told us to have fun. So, we did. Until about 1 a.m. We were all getting tired, kind of just, you know, chilling and talking while the game sat on the pause screen. The pause screen was, black with yellow letters. So, the house was pretty dark. That glow was basically the only light. And even then, it wasn't a whole lot. Then we heard the gate. Across the street, rustling around. I picked my head up to, like, look out the window. But I was scared for some reason. I don't know why. I just was. So I didn't, like, fully lift my head above the windowsill. I just kind of peeked. And it was Raquel. I knew it was her because I could slightly see her face. She was trying to hop the fence. She was wearing a red plaid pajamas, a black hoodie, had a backpack on, but, like, no shoes. And it had been raining earlier that day, so everything outside was wet. The ground, the fence, everything. And she just hopped over and started walking towards the dead end, towards the wooden guardrail at the end of the street. By this point, my sister and brother are both staring out the window too. We were all freaked out. And she walked to the guardrail, hopped over it, and walked straight into the forest. And we're like, what? Why would she? I mean, it's 1 a.m. in a tiny town, in the mountains, in the forest, with no shoes on. We tried to make sense of it. Maybe she was, you know, going out for a drink or smoke. She was a little older than us, maybe 16. That doesn't make sense. you know? Eventually, my brother and sister fell asleep. But I didn't. I waited. I stayed up till about 3:30 that morning, just listening. Listening for the rustle of that gate, or any sign she came back. But I never heard it. It was like she just never came back that night. The next day, we all got up to go to the lake. It was around 10:30, maybe 11. My grandparents gave me a bag to take out to the trash before we left. As I'm walking out with it, I look across the street. And there's Raquel, just sitting on a chair on the patio, like nothing happened last night. There was a full glass of something in front of her, reddish liquid. I don't know what it was, but I waved, just trying to be friendly. Nothing. She just had this look on her face. And I mean, not just like a dirty look. Not annoyed, not tired. It was, I don't know, disgusted, but evil disgusted. Her hood was up, her shoulders were shrugged up to her neck, and she was looking directly at me. Right at me. No wave, no hi, no acknowledgement, nothing. Just this, stare. That was the first time I actually felt scared of her. Genuinely scared. Anyways, we went back home after that trip, and, we heard a story about Raquel from one of our other friends. This guy from Oregon named Cage. My sister and Cage had this, little crush on each other and would talk on the phone sometimes. It's how we even heard about the story. But apparently, Cage, a couple friends, and Raquel were hanging out in Raquel's parents' basement. Smoking cigarettes, being young teens. You know how it is. So, two of the kids go upstairs to do something, and Raquel stays down there with Cage to, finish the cigarettes or whatever. And she tells him she's gonna go up and get the others. Goes up the stairs, closes the basement door, turns off the light, and locks it. He freaked out, screaming, banging on the door, just completely panicking. The other two kids came back and Raquel opens it and she's laughing. Just laughing, like it was the funniest thing she'd ever done. He told my sister he would never hang out over there again, and honestly, yeah, that tracks. But, we were kids, so fast forward a couple months, and we go back to Oregon. And Raquel seems normal again, back to regular Raquel. And she had, built a clubhouse in the back of her house. I mean, come on. A clubhouse? When you're that age, that's the best bribe in the world. So, obviously, we went over there. And everything was going great. We were just hanging out, having fun, and then I stood up and told them I was, going outside to take a pee. So, I go outside, and as I'm standing there, I see Raquel come out the clubhouse behind me. She closes the door, shoves a stick between the lock, grabs the extension cord and unplugs it so there's, no light inside. And I can hear my brother and sister in there going, "Dude, what the fuck? Let us out!" And Raquel, she has this look. This crazy, devilish look in her eyes. And walks straight towards me. And I'm I'm terrified. I'm a kid. I'm standing there, and this girl is walking at me with something in her face that is just wrong. She walks right up to me, and she says, "If you open that clubhouse, I will hurt you." And I was stunned. I didn't know what to do, but eventually I ran around her, I grabbed the stick, I opened the door, and I told my brother and sister exactly what she said. And my sister grabbed Raquel by the shirt, threw her on the ground, and just started yelling at her, full on screaming. But Raquel, she didn't cry. She didn't flinch. She didn't look scared. She just had this this grin. This really weird, sinful grin. The whole time she's on the ground getting screamed at, she's just grinning. Almost like she, I don't know, enjoyed it? You know, like, that was exactly what she wanted. Getting thrown on the ground and yelled at was like fun for her. It was not normal. It was not a kid's smile. There was something behind it that I still can't explain. Obviously, we told our grandparents immediately, and they walked straight across the street and confronted the parents. And during that conversation, the mom told them some stuff, and this is the part that kind of changed everything for me. She said Raquel had been spending long nights in the basement. She brushed it off at first, figured she was just being a teenager. You know, kids need their space or whatever. But she said her daughter had been acting very strange the last couple months. So they confiscated most of her stuff as punishment. And when they went through her things, they found a Ouija board. And the mom, she started crying right there in front of my grandparents. She said her daughter was not the same. She told them that they would find Raquel, throwing up in the middle of the night from sleepwalking and eating to the point of projectile vomiting and just gorging herself while completely asleep and then getting violently sick. And my grandmother, she just says, "Please keep that away from me and my family. I'm very sorry for you. We have to go." So we left. We walked off that porch, and as we were leaving, I looked back at the house. I don't know why, I just did. And I swear, I could see Raquel watching us from the horizontal basement window, the little window on the ground level that looks into the basement. I remember the feeling I felt when I saw that. The goosebumps. I can feel them right now. Right now, talking to you, just thinking about this. My mom and stepdad split up a few years after all this. It was unrelated, of course, but it did mean that we fell away from that side of the family. I never went back to Oregon, so that was it. Chapter closed. Or at least I thought it was. 15 years later, I'm at a cabin with my fiance's family, just hanging out, telling stories around the fire. You know how that goes. So I decide to tell this one. The whole thing. Raquel, the forest, the basement, the locked doors, the eyes, all of it. And right as I'm finishing the story, my phone rings. A number from Oregon. And I did not want to answer that phone. I stared at it. And my first thought was, there's absolutely no way. There is no way this is happening right now. But my fiance's mom, she insisted. She was like, "You need to answer that because I need to know you're not pulling the greatest scary prank of all time." So I answer. And immediately, there's this loud buzzing. This ringing sound, not like phone ringing, like a frequency, a tone. It lasted about 3 seconds, and then it stopped. And the line just cut. You could have heard a pin drop in that cabin. Nobody said a word. Everyone just sat there. I truly think Raquel was possessed. I do. I think she was talking to something through that board. In the basement, in the forest at 1 a.m. with no shoes on, and God knows where else. Whatever she opened up, whatever she invited in, I don't think it left. I don't think it ever left. I think about her sometimes, what happened to her, What happened to her family? What happened to that house? I don't have answers for any of it. I never will. And, I'm haunted by the thought of going to Oregon. Like, to this day, the idea of driving up there and being anywhere near that town makes my stomach drop. I hope I never have to. I really do. That's it. That's Raquel. That's the girl from across the street.